Yo, what's up guys? Mike here, coming at you from the mushroom farm, and I got a great video for you guys today. So today I just want to talk about mushroom substrate recipes, grain recipes, spawn recipes, all that stuff. And sometimes you get variation between different recipes you're going to find online from different cultivators, or you might search something on Google and you might just find all these different recipes and stuff like that. So I want to talk about some of the variations you may see and kind of like how to just decipher for yourself what to do, and then kind of like how to adjust and where to go from there. Okay, so anyway, I want to say too, those of you who don't know, my name is Mike. I'm a mushroom farmer. I've been farming gourmet mushrooms 9 years full time. Here's just a few shots of some of my grows over the years, but I've mainly sold my mushrooms at farmers markets and to high-end restaurants. It's what I mainly do out here now in Western Colorado. But I've previously owned a mushroom retail shop, and I've just grown a lot of mushrooms over the years, and we have over 200 videos on mushroom farming and mushroom cultivation on this channel. I'm always doing new uploads, and we got plenty of more awesome content to come. So if you're into mushrooms and farming, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you get more mushroom and farming videos like this in the future. But anyway, on to today's video. I want to talk about variances that you'll see between recipes and maybe some of the results you'll get yourself. I just put up a video yesterday, or late last night actually, talking about sawdust spawn compared to grain spawn, all right? And I had a subscriber leave a comment down below in the comment section, kind of asking a question about actually Mossy Creek's sawdust and grain spawn recipe. He utilized it a little bit, and he had some different results with the hydration, and I just want to kind of talk about that a little bit and answer his question and kind of talk to you guys about some of the variants that you will see between recipes and then some of the results that you personally get. And I want to say too, if you have any suggested videos or you have any questions for me, just feel free to drop it down below in that comment section, and I'll be sure to answer all your questions, and I might even make a video for you. Okay, so on to this whole thing about variances between recipes and what the subscriber kind of had happen to them. Basically, he did the Mossy Creek, I think he calls it super spawn. Basically, it's a mixture of sawdust and grain. Add water to that, sterilize it, and then that's your spawn, okay? And then he inoculated it with liquid culture. Well, anyway, the problem that he had is he told me, basically in the comment section, that it was a little dry, okay? And before I comment on this and kind of tell you guys what my thoughts on that are, I just want to say Mossy Creek is a great content creator. I've learned a lot from Andrew over the years. I've been cultivating mushrooms right now, like I said, 9 years. Andrew's been into it, I believe, even longer than me, okay? He was one of the first mushroom YouTubers that I began to watch, and we've both been in it a long time. We both have lots of experience, so he's a great channel to watch if you guys haven't checked his channel out. But he's definitely got some good stuff on there. But let's talk about this recipe right now, okay? Basically, the subscriber that I have on my channel was saying that his mix was a little dry. And I just want to say, every once in a while, when you get a recipe online, whether you're like searching it on Google or you get it from one of us content creators, every once in a while you have to make adjustments for your particular situation. And that's why I'm always talking about like the context or the best use case for certain things, because there are times when it's just like, hey, we got to make a little adjustment here because this one might work a little bit better for me. So if you ever notice that you feel like your grain or your sawdust or anything like that is maybe a little dry feeling from somebody's recipe, definitely just start adding a little bit more water, like slowly titrate that amount up until you can kind of check it. I like to feel by field capacity, and there's times that I'll like cook a bag, and I'm pretty experienced now, so I can tell a lot of times just by looking at it, you know, if I've got it good and hydrated, or even like just squeezing it through the bag, you can kind of like feel it and tell how hydrated you actually have that substrate or that spawn. But sometimes you got to sacrifice one, man. Sacrifice to win. So every once in a while you might want to dig your hand in some and actually feel it, and then think like, man, if I was a mushroom, would I grow in that? And if it's a little too dry, man, next time add a little more water to the recipe. And if it's a little too wet, like if you ever reach in there and it's just like sopping wet and you can tell, you're like, dang, dude, what's going on? You can have weird anaerobic problems and stuff like that. So you have to find like that perfect balance of moisture level just to have good mycelial growth. And especially when you're inoculating with liquid culture, I will say when you are inoculating with liquid culture, it is so much more critical to have the hydration down And me personally, I've never made Mossy Creek's spawn recipe. I will have to try that and some similar stuff here. Just, I like the no prep recipes, and that's basically a no prep recipe. So I'm a major supporter of that. And I will say, sawdust is actually a little bit cheaper than vermiculite, I think. Yeah, it's got to be. It's definitely cheaper than vermiculite. But I'm always, just like I said, I always make my recipes vermiculite and millet, and that's linked down in the description box below too if you guys want to try my best no prep grain spawn recipe. But there's a lot of cultivators out there that actually do put sawdust into their grain spawn, and it acts like a moisture buffer just like the vermiculite does. So it's a very good replacement for vermiculite. So I personally haven't tried Mossy Creek's recipe, but I bet it's a good one, and I will try a little bit here on my farm. And I'm actually about to hook up my new bagging system, okay? Had another subscriber asking me about my bagging system. I made a video a while back saying that I was going to get a new bagger here for the farm. And I ordered the Fenrir bagger. I had other baggers in the past, kind of like the Thor that Mossy Creek's used over the years, or like the pneumatic system with the knife valves that Myers has. I actually built my own years ago. I made a video on that. You guys can check it out if you look back. You can also see like clips and pictures on my Instagram. I've got all my social media links linked down in the description box below this video if you scroll all the way down. I've actually put my Facebook on there. I have it. You guys can search me for my personal, but I put a business Facebook page on there. I also linked the, I made an X page, I made a TikTok page, and I made a Rumble, but I haven't started posting on Rumble yet, but I'm going to start posting on Rumble. But I'm going to make the effort to try to hit these other platforms. So if you guys aren't following me on some of these other platforms, go over and follow me just so we can get a better follower account over there, and we can create just some good engagement over there on some of those different platforms. But I am going to hook my new bagger up here shortly. I'm going to be posting all up about the new bagger, but I did get a Fenrir. I'm just pumped to try the Fenrir. Those of you who don't know about like the Fenrir, I made a video on it, but what it is, it's basically a motorized auger, okay? And you hook the water up to this system as well, and there's a scale, all right, underneath basically the auger system and where the water spout is, and you put your mushroom bag up under the auger. You tap the scale. You have to calibrate it beforehand, but you tap the scale and it'll start dropping the dry material into the mushroom bag, and then it'll drop in the right amount of water. And you get to set this, it's all computerized and there's a controller, but you basically set in all your inputs and kind of tell like basically the exact hydration amount you want, and it becomes all automated. So once you figure out your recipe and you get it totally dialed in, it can be all automated. Now, these no prep grain spawn recipes, whether it's Mossy Creek's recipe or my best no prep grain spawn recipe, I'm gonna use my Fenrir bagger to make my grain spawn, okay? Because no prep grain spawn will work perfect in a system like that, because you can put your dry material just in the hopper above. The auger will basically drop the right amount down into the bag, and then you can hydrate it to whatever amount you want. So, like, I think the Fenrir system is like a super cool idea for any of these like no prep recipes and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to be utilizing that, and I'll make videos about talking about that and what I think about this system, because I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm like super pumped and stoked to be using it. And I want to talk to, just getting back to variation between recipes. When I moved out here to Colorado, just based on the environment you can be in, all right, when I was in the Midwest, everything was a little more moist there. We had way more humidity in the air. Here in Colorado, this is basically a high desert type of environment, all right? So everything is just drier in general. If I leave like mushrooms out on the table, they will immediately start to dry. You really don't even need a dehydrator out here most of the time. Like, you don't need a dehydrator out here. If you just put a fan on something, it will legit dry out, cracker dry, no problem, okay? I couldn't always do that in the Midwest. You might have problems with like stuff molding in the Midwest, but like here, never happens to me. So just based on your environment, you may need to add more or less moisture or water to your substrate. And I'll just say it, that's why it's great to have some type of variability. You can adjust it if you have a bagger. The Fenrir is great, like I said, because you can switch the inputs. But if it's just something you're doing yourself and you got to like do a field capacity test where you're just squeezing it and you're trying to tell how much moisture you have in there, or like I said, sacrifice a bag, sacrifice to win, man. Get in there and feel it after you cooked it just to see like, what does this feel like, all right? Because you really do need to have that hydration down properly. But like I said, I had to add a little more water myself out here personally. So if you got to make adjustments, don't feel bad or like you did something wrong. It's just kind of, it is what it is, and it's probably for your just own contextual situation. But like I said before, if you guys have any questions about anything I went over today, just drop down below in that comment section. I'd be more than happy to answer all your questions. Remember, we have a subscriber giveaway coming up towards the end of this month. I'm going to be giving away a lot of liquid cultures and like master slants for long-term storage. So if you guys are after any of that, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get more mushroom and farming videos like this, and you can enter into the subscriber giveaway. I'll also be putting all this stuff on my website too. The website is linked down in the description box below. You guys can head over there and check that out. The website's a little low on stock right now, but I'll have it totally restocked by the end of the month. We're also going to do a big Black Friday sale. But anyway, guys, hopefully you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But that's all I got for you on this one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.